Coming up on this episode of Outlook TV, Montreal Pride's Illusions,
Vancouver AIDS Walk,
the Ottawa Street Festival and Main Stage, and much, much more. Hello and welcome to Outlook TV. I'm Rebecca Wyman.
and I'm Sister Fancy Pants, Miss Gay Vancouver 40. You're watching Outlook TV, the queer TV show that brings you the stories from coast to coast that matters the most.
And we're going to kick it off in Montreal with the premier Pride show, Illusions.
This is where the local drag queens get to be in the spotlight.
It was all an illusion. No, it wasn't. It was real. Once again this year, so many local drag queens got together to perform at Illusion. Orchestrated by Michelle Dorion, this event is one must-seen event here for Montreal Pride. Let's see what these queens had to say about the performances.
My God, Illusion was just out of this world. It was very stressful. I had a lot of props, a lot of things going on, a lot of decor. I had 18 persons in my number, so I was a bit stressed that everything was going to go okay. We had one rehearsal, that was it. But I'm really, really happy. It was just great. The weather was perfect. I think it was like 180 or 91 person backstage, dancers, drag queens. I'm like, wow, that's a lot of people for a 3-hour show. This is our show. We're local queens. This is our time to shine during Pride, and we put everything we have into it because we want it to be perfect.
A dream come true last Saturday. The crowd was turning crazy. The vibe was intense. It was the best crowd ever, like 80,000 people. It was really, really cool. So yeah, a dream come true. And after that, we filmed the music video of the new song we were doing.
We're going for a new approach. We decided to do a mix of Paula Abdul. She's one of my favorite singers in all time, and she's really ballet jazz. So we try to reproduce some things like that and mixing like voguing and stuff.
Montreal is really full of talent. Make sure you check out our website to see where you can see all our queens perform. For Outlook TV, this is Ali in Montreal.
Let's check out the Vancouver International Film Festival with my dads, mums, and me.
VIFF, I love daddies.
I'm not sure that's what this... Nothing. Let's just check it out.
The Vancouver International Film Festival is in full swing here in Vancouver, and today we're going to meet a documentary filmmaker of the film My Dad's, My Mom's, and Me. Let's go find out what it's all about.
Go back to the cover now. Ready? Yeah.
Fatherhood Dreams was made in 2007, and it was a very important film for Canada because it was shown on TV. It was shown on mainstream TV, and middle-class, middle-aged, heterosexual people saw these three families. And I edited it in a certain way that it wouldn't disturb anybody visually. For me, it was very important to carry the message that same-sex parenthood is exactly the same. Back in 2007, it was a new idea. Now, it is a common knowledge in Canada, but it is not a common knowledge in other places in the world. So this film, My Dad's, My Mom's, and Me, is again important. Maybe not for Canada as much, but for other countries, for the countries that see definitely we can see the fear with which they approach parenthood by gay fathers.
Hey, Ella. You're so beautiful.
Well, I'm Canadian documentary filmmaker with a heavy Russian accent because I was born and grew up and lived in Moscow till I was 30. And then I came to Canada, and in Canada I have made 10 documentaries. I wasn't a filmmaker in Russia, but I studied at the film school, and my father was the programming director of the Moscow International Film Festival. So this disease found me very early.
You know, the children grow up and what effect it has to have two fathers.
Most of the films that I made are about people, about relationship between people, about love, about childhood. And quite often I want to make films about minorities. I made a film about black children in Ukraine, and this film went absolutely everywhere in the world. It was at Sundance, and it was very well received. So for me, when I met someone who was a gay man who had a surrogate pregnant with twins in 2006, that was very interesting. And that's how the first film came to me, Fatherhood Dreams. It was about the first generation of children born in families with gay fathers after the same-sex marriage was legalized in Canada.
I think we all want to feel that we've served a purpose in our life, to have some aspect of you carry on and contribute to the history of humanity.
For Outlook TV, this is Angus Pratt at the Vancouver International Film Festival 2019.
We're going to have to take a little break now.
Good, I need to polish my crown a bit more.
You're always on about the crown. Welcome back. You're watching Outlook TV.
Let's head to Sunset Beach for the absolute wettest AIDS walk in history.
You don't mean wet in the good way, do you?
No.
Oh, bummer. I'm going to make a bold statement right now.
Wow, really bold.
I am. This is going to be a fabulous story. There it is, my bold statement.
I'm not sure it's as bold as my crown, though.
No, but I'm not competing anymore.
Okay.
We're here at BOLDFEST 2019 in Vancouver. This is the 15th annual convention for bolder, older lesbians and dykes. Let's go check out the action and meet some of these gals.
I'm an older dyke. BOLDFEST, BOLD stands for Bold Older Lesbians and Dykes. And there aren't too many places for older dykes to come together, talk, have fun, have support and all like that.
4th year, and there's lots of fun and cute women.
Any additional comments?
We really enjoy the friendship and the time with other women.
I'm one of the members on the organizing committee, and then I also do the intergenerational work here at BOLDFEST. And it's also a lot of cute women and friends.
We're talking about somewhere between 175 and 200 people. There is a contingent of maybe 100 or a bit more who are here for the whole BOLDFEST, and then there are some who come for different events along the way. We have some women for the first time here from Texas, New York, Montana, Idaho, Ontario, Nova Scotia, and of course the Vancouver and BC area.
And what brings me here is that it's a specifically lesbian conference. So it's an opportunity to celebrate lesbian space, lesbian culture, lesbian community, to build and expand lesbian community, which is so precious and so important and a very rare commodity these days. It's a rare experience these days, so it is really valuable. And as a lesbian feminist, this is crucial to my well-being and survival, and the community here is very supportive and wonderful.
Because it's Thanksgiving weekend, on Thanksgiving Day, Monday, we're going to have a Thanksgiving dinner, and thank God we're lesbians, at the Cole Harbor Community Center, and it's being served by Taipei, which is the Syrian refugee women's group who've started an amazing catering company.
Lesbians and dykes. So first of all, it's very important to identify us as lesbians because that's a very proud part of our identity of women who love women. And the word dyke has a political context that goes back to the women's liberation movement, the lesbian liberation movement that grew out of the 70s, or that came up. Obviously, lesbians have been around far longer than that. But the word dyke became reclaimed, and it was associated with being a lesbian feminist. So it was associated with making the connections that we live in a patriarchal culture, patriarchal society, and being a woman who loves women in a woman-hating world is a very radical act of liberation.
Well, there'll be another BOLDFEST. Exactly when it will be, I don't know, but I'm sure it's going to be bigger and better than ever. That's all I can say.
Wow, this has been a lot of fun. And this has been Brian Street in Vancouver for Outlook TV.
Let's head over to Vancouver's Mole Hill for a picture retrospective.
Yes, let's go see pictures of how short shorts were back in the 80s.
We're in historic Mole Hill in Vancouver's West End on equally historic Jepson Young Lane, named after the late Dr. Peter. Today we're going to go into the Mole Gallery to see a special exhibit about Vancouver's history. Please join us.
The exhibit that you'll see today, it's an exhibit, but his name was Max Baker, and I couldn't find much information on him, but then I finally found him on the AIDS quilt, and his legal name was Maxwell Woolery Baker, and that's why I couldn't find him. And so his personal photo albums came into my possession, and because the person thought I would have an idea what to do with them. I've been around a very long time in the community. I first really came out in 1970, and I've always had a passion for social justice, and you know, that propelled me to get involved when AIDS reared its head and they wanted to quarantine men with HIV/AIDS, and I joined forces with a lot of the gay guys and fought back against that in the early days.
Can you give us a little bit of insight into what we can perhaps expect to see in the exhibit?
As AIDS was just hitting, in the early 80s, you would see a lot of really young vibrant, healthy men. They're playing their sports. They're some of them in their short shorts. They're just tanned and healthy, and and just having a good time and enjoying life and not knowing what's really coming. Ron Dutton, who had the archives, he was able to identify a few. I was identifying some. And James Lowen, who's documented our history as well, was able to even identify himself, which I would have never known because he was in a clown face the first time he'd done drag. And so that was very poignant.
I understand it's moving on to the archives.
It'll be the City of Vancouver archives at the public library. And then maybe for some of them that are still left unidentified, they'll be identified.
For Outlook TV, this is Angus Pratt at the Molehill Gallery in Vancouver.
It's time for us to take another little break now.
Oh, good. I forgot to put on some jewelry today.
Oh, it's true. You've got almost none on.
I feel naked.
Hello, everyone. This is Barbada, and you're watching Outlook TV.
Hi, it's Giselle Lullaby, and you're watching Outlook TV. Yay! Wonderful.
Hi, this is Sasha Baga, and you're watching Outlook TV. Bye.
Welcome back. You're watching Outlook TV.
We're going to head off to see one of our reporters' first solo exhibition.
Ooh, good for Ollie.
Yeah.
We're at Rebel with a Cause. It's Ollie Silva's first solo show. It's a culmination of his year-long research, which is a commentary on society. Let's go talk to Ollie and find out more about his show.
Rebel with a Cause is ironic. I'm not a rebel, and my cause really is to bring back connection and empathy. So that's why there's an irony behind Rebel with a Cause, because the story basically is a stormtrooper that I've chosen because I like the connections with the medias. And media is such a big part of our world today, especially the internet. So my story really is that stormtrooper that is not able to really see anything but what's on their screen. And as they go through encounters and as they meet people and as they really discover art, they start to lose all the limitations on their outfits. So everything was made out of vinyl, and I'm releasing and removing all the vinyls until the stormtrooper at the end turns into a living canvas. So to represent that when you have encounters, when you get to know people, when you get to meet people, you actually can create your own identity. I believe because the glamorization behind Star Wars and how much we like Star Wars, I feel like stormtroopers are not necessarily a positive character in Star Wars all the time, but we see it as so cool and so hip. But actually they're programmed to not always do so good, right? So I really wanted people to look at a stormtrooper and say, hey, oh my gosh, that's so fun, and look, there's so many stormtroopers. But actually, like, I want people to really rethink of what we think of a hero and what is a hero. Rebel with a Cause is also my story. It's kind of like me coming to life. And yeah, so this project that was part of my master's really was my own therapy, let's say. It was me coming to life and feeling very assertive about who I wanted to be. As a queer artist, it was hard, I think, at the beginning for me to really put myself out there, because I'm a queer artist, but I'm also a queer teacher. So for being in a school system, and being around children all the time, like, I wanted to make sure that, like, my art that I was doing was showcasing queer culture and queer perspectives in a positive way, and in a way that they could actually, if they were to see my work, connect with. So for this evening, I want people to really take the time to look at the art, see what works for them, but I also want people to do a bit of what the messaging is, to talk to one another, to not stay in their bubble, to reach out. And I'm really, really thankful that here at the French Cultural Center that are providing a space for that.
What a thought-provoking art show. This is Sister Fancy Pants, Miss Gay Vancouver for Outlook TV.
We're going to head over to Ottawa now and check out the Pride Street Festival.
Oh, come on, it's Ottawa. I'm sure they were not on the streets.
Well, there were stages and stuff, but yeah, there was some on the streets.
Okay, maybe the stages were on the streets.
Preparations are underway for Capital Pride's Street Festival and entertainment.
This weekend's our Capital Pride Festival weekend. We've got events happening here at the corner of Bank in Somerset, our main stage, and later this afternoon, our Capital Pride Parade. We've had a jam-packed lineup of events this week, events that we've organized, and then over 65 community events.
Happy Pride! Woo! We're doing a special project this year in 2019 to celebrate the 50th anniversary of partial decriminalization of homosexuality in Canada. So we're visiting different prides across the country, bringing awareness to festival goers about the evolution of the rights of the community since the last 50 years.
1, 2, 3. From Canadian Men, Happy Pride!
MAX Ottawa is Ottawa's Health Connection for Guys into Guys. We are a community-based organization for gay, bisexual, two-spirit, queer, and other guys who are into guys, both cisgender and transgender in the Ottawa region. We are a frontline organization, so we reach out to Guys into Guys where they meet and socialize, bringing education, support, and other resources and information.
What have you done today to make you feel proud? Goodbye, everybody. I've got to go.
The couples that we work with are gay fathers who need both egg donation and surrogates. We've also worked with a number of people in the trans community. I'd say probably over 50% of the people that we help are part of the LGBTQ community.
So the drag scene is in Ottawa, it's amazing. We have a lot of talent and we have a lot of space for all these people. And just to get all the community together and a lot of different people, we have a lot of straight and older people and young kids and everybody getting together to see the drag shows. That's what Pride means for us, and that's what the drag scene is about, putting people together.
Everyone's enjoying the street festival. From Ottawa, this is James for Outlook TV.
We've come to the end of yet another episode of Outlook TV, but with that end comes another beginning really soon.
And in the meantime, you can check us on all our social media platforms. Plus, if you want to volunteer with us, we'd be happy to have you.
Overjoyed, in fact. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Rebecca Wyman.
And I'm Sister Fancy Pants, Miss Gay Vancouver 40. Stay fabulous, Canada.